We're here, of course, for the regular monthly meeting, June 11, 2026, of the Board of Commissioners of the Norfolk Redevelopment and Housing Authority. And we will get right into our agenda with the approval of our commissioners' meeting minutes from our May 14th and 21st meeting.
We can approve them together or separately. How would you like to proceed?
Any preference, commissioners?
Together is fine.
I've had a
Together.
chance to review them well.
We'll do it together.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for the approval of the two sets of minutes?
Move that we approve the minutes for the May 14th and May 21st meetings.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Groover,
Aye.
Ms. Mayo,
Aye.
Mr. Casagrande, Dr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Fraley.
Aye. Having approved our minutes following our agenda, we'll get right into our public comments. Do we have any individuals here to speak? I do. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have 3 people here to speak. The first person up, I have Danielle Moore, and she's from Grandy Village.
Right up front here, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Danielle Moore. I'm a resident of Grandy Village, and I'm also a candidate for the next community representative. This is my first time attending this meeting, so I'm not going to bundle you down with a lot of questions, but I will take this opportunity to make you aware of how I and other residents feel about not only your decision to make a recent change in management, but also the truth about how we are being represented. It is time for change. We are aware that change is happening all around us, and in some cases, unavoidable. Sometimes those changes come with consequences. This change has stripped an entire community of its only food resource. We have the entire time of my stay in Grandy Village. The resources, among others, was provided to us by Ms. Keisha Poole. During her stay with this community, no one has come forward to compete or even contribute to what Ms. Poole provided to our community. The voice you have been listening to is not the voice of this community. It is time for change. We have community meetings once a month, which I attend, residents attend, looking for help to resolve issues within the community. But what we are met with is a tyrant that is focused on personal gripes with vindictive campaigns, dividing the community not only against one another, but against the institution in place to provide safety, fairness, healthy environment, inclusion, and transparency. It is time for change. I follow NRHA on Facebook, and I see other communities having functions in their communities. I don't know what you have been told, but our community is being robbed and used to feed one man's ego. It's time for change. Grandy Village, as beautiful as it is, has absolutely nothing. Nothing for seniors, nothing for single mothers, nothing for families, and nothing for children. What I do see is a very disturbing and discriminatory pattern by the representative of this community, which does not align with what the community needs or wants. It is time for change. Again, my name is Danielle Moore, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Moore.
Mhm.
Have anyone else available to speak?
Have Melissa Bonifiglio. She's going to be speaking about maintenance at Young Calvert, and she's from Legal Aid.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Bonfiglio from the Legal Aid Society of Eastern Virginia. I'm here today because once again, Legal Aid is very concerned about the repairs and the mold remediation currently being conducted throughout NRHA properties. While we appreciate that new maintenance workers have been hired, and we certainly appreciate all of the work that Karen Rose is doing, we remain concerned that NRHA continues to cut corners and not properly repair units. As we all know, NRHA tenants have suffered with leaks, plumbing problems, and mold for years, and NRHA has repeatedly refused to make meaningful repairs. Indeed, in a recent response to a FOIA request, NRHA disclosed that in the span of 3.5 years, from January 2023 through April 2026, Young Terrace and Calvert Square tenants reported 1,603 instances of leaks in their homes. In that same time frame, Young and Calvert residents reported 4,737 instances of plumbing problems. These are shocking numbers, and NRHA has clearly been on notice for years regarding the significant habitability issues in its properties. And while there may be more maintenance workers around, the work continues to be poorly performed. Tenants report a leak, maintenance comes in and does a quick patch, and within a few months, the bathroom is leaking into the kitchen once again. The constant water intrusion causes mold, and when the tenant's kitchen cabinets are covered with mold, NRHA maintenance comes in, pulls out the old cabinets, and puts new cabinets on top of the moldy walls without ever properly addressing the leaks and the plumbing problems. Several months later, the bathroom is once again leaking into the kitchen. There's water dripping from the kitchen cabinets and more mold is growing. Rinse and repeat. This is nothing more than negligent repair that perpetuates the terrible conditions under which NRHA residents are forced to live, while NRHA continues to collect its federal subsidies. Residents, including seniors, those who are disabled, and children, are physically ill because of the conditions in which they are forced to live. This is a picture of a unit that is being repaired. There is mold covering the walls, and cabinets are being put on top of a moldy wall. While it is easy to publicize and feel good about recreational programs and talk about paths to employment and financial stability, these programs are meaningless if tenants do not have a decent, safe, and habitable place to call home. And there is simply no way that NRHA can claim that it is working towards creating thriving families.
Thank you, Ms. Bonfiglio. Do we have any other members of the public for comment?
Next up, we have Raytron White, topic Grandy Village.
President of the Grandy Village neighborhood in Norfolk. A couple of things, commissioners, I would like to address to you this morning is we would like to see the finance department send the rent statements back out to the residents because of different things. We're getting stuff kind of moving in our neighborhood. But if you have certain like a bulb or a light or something we fix, it's a charge to that. So if you don't know what your bill is, and Yachty is really not in favor of the residents. I was in the office a couple of days ago and the lady that got her code keeps going out. She goes every month to get a new code. So some of the things is just not working in our favor. So we would like for you all and Mr. Clark for them to ask to start putting the rent statements out in case there's an extra charge to the residents. We've asked that and we were told that because of Yachty, they're not doing it anymore. It should be another way in case Yachty breaks down, something happens, the residents know what their rent statement is for that month. I want to thank Ms. Rose. We had a meeting the other day for our new manager, and we talked about that. She thought it was a good idea too as well, that we were asked to get that done. My second point is I've asked this wonderful agency about some things, and I'm asking the commissioners today to look at some things. It's the second year. I fight very well for that neighborhood. The second year that our kids are not in that Boys and Girls Club. There was the second year they have not put a flyer out saying, hey, we got spring camp. There's no food for the kids to eat for the summer. There's no way for the kids to go to play in this heat like this to stay in the house. Kids stay in the house, young people stay in the house and sleep all day. Guess what they do at night? Have problems. We just had a problem in our neighborhood a couple of weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago. There were about 35 to 45 bullets, shelled, that I found the team president found that the police officers did not find. We had a big shooting because the teens, these are teenagers, are doing this. We've got some stuff, we got the police department, and we got some arrests and some people going out there now looking for the kids, and the people are telling what's going on. So we have to have some stuff for the kids. I think we give the Boys and Girls Club over $150,000. I think that money's been massively communicated that it shouldn't be going to residents that's not living in our neighborhood. It should be going to the residents that live in the neighborhood. The money has been misused for other people in the city of Norfolk. And we've asked the agency, we've asked client services, that's what their job is, to make resources out for our kids in our neighborhood. There's nothing, I promise you, get up off your seats and come and see what the kids are doing in the neighborhood. I've asked some legal people about some things, and we're working on some things because it needs to be, Mr. Clark, it needs to be an outlet for youth, the teams. You all seen the news all over this Hampton Roads area. And it should not, even the summer jobs. I went to city council. There are kids in Portsmouth, Chesapeake, and Virginia Beach got summer jobs in our city. The application, you must live in Norfolk. If we have a child in Grandy Village that have a summer job, I would love to meet with them and find out where they're working. I would love to meet with them because we have to do something, you all. It's the summertime. Only thing we have is a pool. There was a agreement with the city of Norfolk and the pool. My team, it's 4 of us. We fought for the pool to be open. Nobody else did it but my team. The city was closing the pool. They got so much excited, they redid the pool because the kids had nothing to do. That's what we do at my team at Grandy Village. The NRHA asked for a check, the city asked for a check to pay for the kids' cards from last year. Residents calling me, we haven't got our cards from last year yet. And it was agreement. And then there's a letter going out that's saying we got free rec cards for the kids this year. What happened to the kids last year? And the people last year, we did all this work. There was no check sent to the city, to my knowledge, today from last year. It's embarrassing to me and my team because we fought so hard and there was agreement of a check. We know we had to get the people who enrolled in it. They already been enrolled in it because the cars are sitting there. They just need a check from NRHA to pay for last year. And I think they would like to do it. They pay for it. It'll start from the day they pay for it to the following year. It's just not right that we keep lying to these residents, saying we're doing something we're not doing. And I thank Ms. Rose for getting us a new manager. We have a new team. And we had a meeting and we're working together in Grandy Village because we are the #1 neighborhood in the city of Hampton Roads because of people like Ms. Rose and the residents. So commissioners, please look at this. This can't go anymore. It's been 3 years. Our kids are not happy. And next time, if I have to bring the kids and the parents here, we would do it. And I thank my colleagues from the other neighborhoods and ICs of coming out to support me because we are trying our best. We just have nobody to listen to us. And the saying is we're addressing and doing something are 2 different things. Let's do something. Stop addressing it. Let's do something about what we're talking about. We're human people. We're working hard. And good luck to all the new people that's coming on board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Next speaker,
Have no additional speakers.
and none online, on the phone.
No, there's no one online.
Hearing that, we'll move forward with our agenda. Thank you so much for those public comments. We'll take that under advisement, of course. We're in the resolutions. First resolution, approving our fiscal year 2027 budget. And the second resolution for adopting the Hampton Roads Mitigation Plan and authorizing related action in support of the Moton Circle Control and Resilience Project. Take those one at a time. Good morning.
My name is Kashawn Easter. I am presenting highlights from the resolution adopting the FY 2027 budget. The resolution is included in your packages. This budget is for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2026 through June 30, 2027. It has been presented to the commissioners at the May 14th meeting for a funding amount at $161,419,854. A public hearing was held on May 14th. We are asking for approval of the budget at this meeting today, and the final step would be to submit the approving resolution to HUD by June 30th.
Thank you, Ms. Easter. Do we have any questions of Ms. Easter, folks? Commissioners?
No, but this has been presented at the level of the Finance Committee. the last two meetings. Commissioner Groover, do you just want to comment on that?
I don't have any specific comments. We did spend an extended amount of time with staff going through the budget over the last two meetings. And so I think our recommendation from finance is that the board approve it.
Thank you for that, for Dr. Smith and Commissioner Groover. If there are no other questions, comment with regard to the motion, the chair would entertain a motion. No comment with regard to the resolution, excuse me.
Moved.
It's been moved and
Second.
properly seconded that we accept the motion as presented. Ms. Carnes?
Mr. Groover,
Aye.
Ms. Mayo, Mr. Casagrande, Dr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Fraley.
Aye. We thank you for that, Commissioners. The next item up is the hazard mitigation plan for Moton Circle. Mr. Morales?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Here before you today is that NRHA is working with the state of Virginia. We're going after a grant. It's the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities Program. It's a FEMA grant. We can go after $2 million for the Moton Circle Home Ownership Program. And what this grant funds will do will be working on the stormwater and flood issues in the Moton area as part of that home ownership program. We've been working on the Moton program for some time. We have city funding to do work out there. Namely, we're going to be demolishing the warehouse out there, and that actually will serve as our match. So for the $2 million and the required $600,000 plus in match, NRHA already has those funds and has that activity planned. So what this resolution does, it will allow us to go forward and apply for the grant. As part of the work, we need to adopt a hazard mitigation plan that's actually already been adopted by the city. It's for this area. And as part of our work in going forward with the grant, we needed this board to adopt that also.
Steve, I break this down for an eighth grader like me. What hazards are we seeking to mitigate?
Stormwater, basically flooding. We have a stormwater pond out there, as well as all the stormwater infrastructure that we'll put in as part of the housing. So this funds will go to addressing the stormwater pond and expanding that to support the housing out there, as well as some of the stormwater work, pipes and all the infrastructure necessary.
Yeah, I know we do have that, I would call a small retention pond there. So I'm hearing that that's going to be expanded.
Just slightly.
Thank you. Any other, I'm sorry, Steve, are you done with your presentation?
I am done.
Commissioners, any question or comment? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion on this resolution.
So moved.
We've been moved and
Second.
properly second, to accept the motion as presented. Ms. Carnes?
Mr. Groover,
Aye.
Ms. Mayo, Mr. Casagrande,
Aye.
Dr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Fraley.
Aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Steve. Next item on our agenda, item 4, HomeNet Home Ownership Program Update. I bet that's LaShawn Ford's. Good morning.
Morning, we're going to start with a video presentation first.
Money, lots of down payment and closing costs assistance to help. Congrats to Ms. Reyes.
Thought I'd lighten the mood a little bit. Good morning. My name is LaShawn Forrest. I'm director of the HomeNet Homeownership Center. As we welcome and celebrate National Homeownership Month, we are reminded that homeownership is more than just owning a home. It creates stability for families, builds generational wealth, and strengthens communities. Established in 2002, when Norfolk's homeownership rate stood at 45.6%, HomeNet was created to expand access to homeownership opportunities for Norfolk residents. At the same time, NRHA was created affordable pathways to homeownership through the development of new construction homes in neighborhoods as Central Bramilton, East Church, West Church, Berkeley, and Broad Creek, as well as through the sale of 15 rehabilitated scatter site public housing homes between 22 and 24. Today, HomeNet equips aspiring homeowners with the education, one-on-one counseling, financial coaching, and down payment and closing cost assistance needed to turn the dream of homeownership into a reality. Beyond supporting individual home buyers, HomeNet partners with community housing development organizations providing technical assistance needed to turn the dream into homeownership with expanded homeownership opportunities for low to moderate income families, and we deploy funding to help that program. At its core, HomeNet is transforming renters into homeowners, creating pathways to wealth, preserving communities, and building generational legacies one family at a time. Next. HomeNet impact report in FY26, 41 homeowners achieved homeownership, which equated to 10.4, thank you, $10.4 million in Norfolk home sales. Average sales price was $254,311. Average mortgage payment is $1,623, less than what most people are currently paying in rent in the city of Norfolk. Average loan amount is $229,143, and average interest rate is 4.99% at a time when rates are roughly about 6%. Leveraging resources for families, we leverage an additional $720,000 deployed through Home and Home with Norfolk, which is a City of Norfolk program. Additional grants secured through our partners, which was $563,088. We leveraged. Match savings program. We have a VITA match savings program. For every dollar saved, our clients get $10. They saved up to $15,000. They got $156,595 to go towards that down payment and closing cost assistance. Average income for current participants is $57,694. It's still below the 80% AMI. Average income for home buyers, $62,857, which is still below 80% area median income. Average starting savings for current participants are $3,727. Average current savings, $4,962. And average savings for home buyers, $6,886 from the work of our housing counselors. Average beginning derogatory debt, $2,666. Current derogatory debt, $1,480, and average debt at closing, which shows a decrease of $166. Average beginning credit score, 640. Average score at closing, $716. But we still have a lot of work to do. We have many barriers towards homeownership that we have to work through. While HomeNet successfully assisted 41 families in achieving homeownership, the demand for affordable homeownership opportunities continue to exceed available resources. We had additional 25 home buyers this year who was approved, ready to go, and did not have funding to do so. We ran out of home funds in January, and that meant that they had been lender approved, they had their savings in the bank, they had took the time to increase their credit score. We currently have 400 people going through the pipeline preparing at different stages for homeownership, and it takes time. And we reminded of that time when we get to Miss Lakita Backus at the Home Buyers Forum. So June is Homeownership Month. In recognition of National Homeownership Month, HomeNet hosted its second annual Unlocking Homeownership Wealth and Legacy Protection Forum, bringing together residents, community partners, lenders, housing professionals, and local lenders to educate, inspire current and future homeowners. And also legal aid was there. Thank you for estate planning. The event opened with remarks from Mr. Fraley and Councilman Carlos Clanton, Chair of the Housing Commission, whose vision and leadership helped launch the initiative last year. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Tim Goller, delivered a powerful message. A house is more than a home, reminding attendees that homeownership is simply about purchasing property. It's about creating stability, building wealth, and leaving a lasting legacy. One of the most impactful moments of the forum came from our guest of honor, Ms. Backus, a former Young's resident and graduate of our HomeNet Homebuyers Club. She shared her personal journey to homeownership, reminding attendees that success requires patience, perseverance, and commitment to showing up. Her path to homeownership took 4.5 years. And let me say that again, 4.5 years, but she never gave up. As her children and grandchildren sat proudly in the audience, Ms. Backus spoke about stability homeownership has created for her family and the opportunities it has provided for future generations. Her path to homeownership, okay. After her remarks, she quietly shared a powerful testament to the value of homeownership as she built more than $250,000 in equity since 2015. And that's the power of homeownership. The moment perfectly captured why HomeNet works matters. HomeNet changes lives, strengthens families, and creates generational wealth. The forum generated tremendous commitment and interest with 356 registrations and 1,570 direct invitations distributed to public housing residents and housing choice voucher participants. I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to our marketing team. Thank you, Leah, because you really came through. I know I plucked your last nerve, but thank you. Through outreach, social media, digital marketing, Eventbrite promotion, helping make this event a success. I also want to thank Norfolk State University for hosting the forum, Dr. Goller, head of Department of Sociology, for sharing his expertise, the City of Norfolk for their continued partnership and support, and our lending and community partners who remain committed to expanding homeownership opportunities throughout the city. The forum was not just an event, it was a powerful reminder that when education, resources, partnership, and determination come together, families can transform their futures through homeownership. And this is why HomeNet works. And this is why we continue to do the good work, one family, one household at a time. So 2015 purchase, and it reminded us of the new construction that we once built and talk about pathways to homeownership. You know, so we was able to prepare a young residence, okay? And she bought a new construction home and we didn't have time to put the clips together, so I apologize. So next month, you guys will have it, but Mr. Fraley was there. You might want to talk about it a little bit. And to see her family there and to see the participants in the audience hungry to ask the questions, you know, how did you do it? How did you make it? How did you make it out of public housing? To see her children and grandchildren sitting there cheering her on and clapping because she thought she was nervous. But she did a phenomenal job sharing her story and her testimony. And this is what we've been about since 2002. And just to give you a little backdrop about Ms. Backus, she came last year and brought me flowers. And she was like, you know, LaShawn, she said, I remember everything you told me about homeownership, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but more importantly, the good. And she brought me flowers as a reminder of what we do every day. So when we hear the noise, because we got a lot of noise in the world going on, we got a lot of noise in the agency right now, we still do really good work and we still impact lives every single day. So I want to thank you for having me up for Homeownership Month. I want to thank you for, you know, hearing the stories of our clients And hopefully next month, we have another story to talk about homeownership in the forum. Mr. Fraley, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I do want to add that one of the big reasons that we're having so much success with this home ownership program and HomeNet is because of you. And you're giving praises to all the other partners that we have, but you've been at the point of the spear from the very beginning of this idea. And without your leadership, we probably wouldn't be celebrating as we are right now. So thanks should go to you as well for all the work that you've done to keep us focused on this program and to keep it motivated and energized. I appreciate what you've done. Um, the young lady who spoke, that was moving for me, and it pointed out something that is valuable in life as well as trying to purchase a home. The key to success in everything is self-discipline. It took her 4.5 years of hard work, dedication, and self-discipline to stay with the program and take the minute steps to lead to bigger results. So one of the messages that I think we should pass on to those who are interested is this is not a quick overnight success. It's one that even feels better because of the distance it takes for you to get there. The gratification and satisfaction is even more meaningful when you do. So we need to drive home the point that we all possess the capability of self-discipline, but not all of us are prepared to practice self-discipline in the way that it needs to be. But if you do, these types of things, not just home ownership, but any other thing in life that you would pursue, is based on how disciplined you are in pursuing it. And my hat's off of that young lady. Her daughter and granddaughter were just beaming in the audience, and her experience was so real that she didn't need notes. She was an extemporaneous speaker who just told her story from her heart. And that made it even more meaningful, I think. But thank you for that program, LaShawn, and we hope to see continued success from it. Any other comment or question, LaShawn, folks? LaShawn, thank you for what you're doing.
And thank you for showing up.
Thank you. Mr. Clark, that's a tough act to follow, but I think you're very tough.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And just to follow up on LaShawn's presentation and comments, I was in the audience too at 9 o'clock on Saturday morning. And I had a coat and tie on a Saturday morning, but all jokes aside, you know, little personal side note, the young lady that everybody's referencing, back in the past life at NRJ, I was real estate director, and I was over that when the area that she moved into. And, you know, we do a lot kind of behind the scenes, planning neighborhoods, where houses going to go, which house here, which house there. And sometimes you never really see or hear from the person who moves in. So here it is, roughly 10 years later, and I'm like, okay, this is why we had all those planning meetings in that community, and this is the end result. That made you feel good. So again, LaShawn, well done. You know, today I thought I would be standing up here telling you about all these great things that we've done over the past 6 months, and that I would be wishing you well going back into my retired life. I'm wrong. I'm still here, and we still got a lot of work to do. You know, we're going to talk about for a minute, we're going to talk about some of the things that we have done. But, you know, I want to acknowledge some of the public comments, not specifically, but generally. You know, we've made progress in a lot of areas since I've been back, but we're not there yet. I'm not going to deny we got some more work to do. there have been some changes that we've been making. And again, it's not just for the heck of it. These are changes to, at the end of the day, provide better service and to our residents. But let me, again, I'm using notes so I don't screw up this time. I want to kind of paint a picture for a second, and LaShawn mentioned this about a lot of noise. And with all due respect, yeah, there's been a lot of noise over the last, since I've gotten back and even before I got back. And, I want to acknowledge the board bringing me back. And yeah, it brought a familiar face back into the agency. And that kind of maybe calmed things a little bit. But I got to acknowledge, there's still a lot of uneasiness. And I'm mainly talking about my staff right now. We've been going through, whether you want to call it restructuring, realignment, or whatever the phrase you want to use, but that's stressful. And make no mistake, I am not excusing bad behavior. Let me say it again. I am not excusing bad behavior, but I want to acknowledge that, a lot of our workforce here is stressed. And why do I mention that? When you're stressed, when you're worried about whether or not, you're going to get a knock on your door on Friday and it's like your last day, your work productivity isn't the best. So all of the procedures, all of the new protocols, everything, the restructuring that we're doing, one of the other things that we are trying to do is kind of create a little bit better workplace environment. And yeah, that I'm saying that up against all the things that legal aid that you bring to our attention. Why am I bringing that up? We got to do a culture change here. Again, I am not excusing bad behavior. And when we uncover bad behavior, we going to deal with it appropriately. Make no mistake about that. But again, we're trying, when you hear about, hey, we got a new department here, we reorganize over there, it's about trying to get a better workflow so we can deliver better to you all, our residents. And this, make no mistake, this ain't about Mike trying to put his stamp on the agency one more time. No. 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 Make no mistake. What I'm doing is, the changes we make, I'm running that past the board. Why? Because, hey, what changes we make need to survive me. Because at some point, yeah, I am going back in retirement. I'll be here for a little bit longer if the board wants me to be here. But the point is, I'm trying to, again, create the working environment that helps deliver better services to the residents. But let's talk for a minute about some of the things we have done. Like I said, we completely reorganized maintenance. We filled a number of needed positions, and we are also training, cross-training, and retraining a lot of our maintenance crew. One of the other things that we're starting to do, we're doing documentation too. We're doing photo documentation too, so that, hey, if you're going to do something, I want to make sure that it's done properly. We have a new phrase here. See something, say something, do something. Part of doing something is documenting that you did. We have, I believe, 11 new unit turn contractors working in Young. And with the boards having appropriated $5 million back in May, an additional $5 million, we'll have more contractors out there. We in regulatory compliance department that is working with our property managers to kind of make sure that we are aligned with the federal requirements, our agency policies, and we're doing this in person in the room. Everybody's in the room together. And y'all can take that statement where you want. One thing to kind of also I want to tap on, our maintenance, our property management, our quality control people are meeting weekly together. And yes, we're putting together new procedures, new policies, whatever you want to call it. And we're tweaking them as we go. The big takeaway is people are meeting in a room. They're not arguing. They're working to create change here. That culture change we're talking about, yeah, that's what they're working on doing. And admittedly, maybe I thought, hey, I knocked this out in 6 months. And no, it's taking longer because we're being very intentional in what we're doing. We just, again, this might come in, oh, it'll change it. Because I always said it should be better than, no. I'm talking to the executive staff. Staff is talking to the directors and managers. And this is what we're coming up with. Again, structure that survives so that when the new ED comes in, that person doesn't feel compelled to just change everything around. And while I mention property management for a second, I'll call out somebody. I'm going to call out two people. For 2 meetings now, Legal Aid has called out Karen Rose and acknowledged the work that she's been doing. I don't want to burn Karen out because I need her. Actually, I need a lot of y'all, but I want to acknowledge we have our new property management director, Val Jenkins. You can just wave your hand. You don't have to stand up, but we do have a new property management director. And Karen said if I didn't hire somebody quickly that she was going to just walk away from me. So I took that advice. But anyway, make no mistake, we've made some progress, but we got a lot more to do. I am not walking away from that. I guess having been here for 40 years, I can kind of see some of the things that we need to change. But I'm not just doing this just out of the blue. I'm talking to staff. I'm talking to the board. You know, we last month we heard client services come up and give a great presentation of what they're doing. We had the homeownership, LaShawn presented this morning. And again, these are success stories and they are important. Why? Because, you know, again, not walking away from the things we could do better, but there are some things that we are doing well. And I want to acknowledge that. And I'm going to keep acknowledging that. So you might see another presentation from another area come up soon. But yes, we have a long way to go, but we are moving. We are not stagnant. Questions, comments from the board?
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Commissioners, any comment or question on Mr. Clark? Mr. Casagrande.
Three very quick comments to make. One is I very much appreciate the little anecdotal story you told about. There was the broad brushstroke story, but you gave us that anecdotal story. I think that that's very important because I think it drives home for everyone. At least I can speak for myself on this one, but I think it goes a long way to show that personal touch, that the reason why we're doing what we're doing. So I wanted to thank you for bringing that up. The second one is that I will say that my personal point of view, I could not, I want to say this on the open session record, I could not be happier. I know that you're planning on standing up there today and saying something different, and I'm sorry to say this to you, and I feel very selfish saying it, but I'm dang happy that you're still up there sticking with us. I have confidence in you, and I have trust and faith in the things that you're doing, and you can see the differences that are happening already, which brings me to comment number 3. and full circle is an anecdote. I was on my way up here today on the elevator, and a gentleman who works here, he had a shirt on, works here, tagged me in. I'm not going to say who it is or anything like that before. I had not met him before. And then we stopped 2 floors later on, and 2 other people came in, and they all seemed to know each other. And I was just in the corner, as most people do in the elevator, looking awkwardly around. And the 2 people who walked on knew the gentleman who worked here. And they said to him, "What are you doing here?" At the same time, he said, "What are you doing here?" He answered first. He said when he found out that you were coming back as the interim director, he had been here, he had chosen to leave, and then he had reapplied and come back when he heard that you were here. And lo and behold, the other 2 people who were stepping on the elevator were coming up here to finish filling out their applications to return, because they also had chosen to leave. And when they heard things are being led by you, they were coming back. And then the elevator dinged, and we all got off. And that anecdote, I think, demonstrates what I had said as my comment too, which is I couldn't be, I don't know what the right word is, but comfortable makes it sound, it doesn't give it enough credit. But I'll leave it with that. I thank you from my perspective personally. I can't speak for the whole board, but I can speak for me, and I think you're doing a fantastic job, and you can see it happen. And when you're talking about the staff, you can see it happen on the individual level as opposed to just the broad strokes as well. So thank you very much. That was longer than I expected, but Wolves would have put money on that anyway. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Casagrande. Commissioners, any other comment or question of the ED? Hearing none, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
We're in the board committee updates. Do we have any committee updates, finance, development?
Ours was spent on the budget and finance, so
He's
you've seen our
done his
update.
work. Thank you, Richard. Any other committee comments? Hearing none, we'll move into commissioner comments. Commissioners, any comment? Ms. Mayo, your eyebrows jumped. Okay. Any comment, commissioners? Here, we'll take a motion to go into closed session. Is that correct, Ms. Carnes?
Yes, sir. I'll read the resolution. Be it resolved that the authority will convene in a closed meeting pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act as amended to discuss the following matters, which are specifically exempted from public disclosure by the code sections referred to below. Number 1, discussion and consideration of personnel matters involving the assignment, appointment, promotion, demotion, performance, salaries, or resignation of employees of the authority as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A1 of the Act. And number 2, consultation with the authority's legal counsel regarding actual or probable litigation and legal matters requiring the provision of legal advice by counsel as authorized by Section 2.2-3711A7 of the Act. May I have a motion, please?
A second? I'll second.
Mr. Grover?
Aye.
Ms. Mayo? Mr. Casagrande? Mr. Miller?
Aye.
Dr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Fraley?
Aye,
Thank you.
we're in the closed session.
Resolution certifying a closed session on June 11th, 2026, whereas the authority has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.2-3712D of the 1950 Code of Virginia, as amended, requires a certification by this authority that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore, upon motion duly made and seconded, be it resolved that the authority hereby certifies that to the best of each commissioner's knowledge, number 1, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed meeting. And number two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the authority. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
A second. Mr. Groover,
Aye.
Ms. Mayo, Mr. Casagrande,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Dr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Fraley.
Aye.
Thank you.
Is there any other item that we need to discuss at this time, commissioners? Let me ask Ms. Carnes, is there anything on your desk, Ms. Carnes, that we need to be apprised of?
No, sir.
Mr. ED, do you have anything that you would
No,
like to
sir.
share further with us?
No, sir, we're good for today.
Commissioners, any comment, question, criticism, suggestion?
I'm good to go.
That was out early.
Hearing none, we stand adjourned.